It's Smackdown. It's Friday. We're in Berlin. Fashion Berlin tomorrow. It's a go home show. A lot to go over. Kind of. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. On today's show, Cody and KO go face to face and call each other out. LA Knight has an open challenge. Andrade and Mello are going best of 5. But today we start with Nia Jax versus MICHIN in a street fight in Berlin. A hell of a street fight. A lot of things tend to happen in this match. Basically started off with Jax coming on out. They did a promo for Jax earlier to show what the match was, what kind of person she is, just so people would know at home who they are. It's part of this whole thing with NBC, from what I understand. Even though we all know who Nia Jax is. She comes out with her title pretty confident, pretty not so happy she's in a street fight, but she's pretty confident of it nevertheless. MICHIN comes out and she brings all the toys. There's a garbage can full of stuff, kendo sticks, chairs, all sorts of stuff. We all know where this is going. They really emphasize how much MICHIN really loves the hardcore style, especially one of her big influences being Tommy Dreamer. So they mentioned that a little bit there too. They also mentioned her apparently being a former TNA champion, Knockouts champion, which is kind of interesting to see that they did that. Kind of cool, actually. So match goes back and forth. Match starts off really quickly though, with MICHIN beating the hell out of Nia Jax with a kendo stick. What a surprise! It's like MICHIN's call thing now, like just beat people with kendo sticks. I really hope it's not because of something else. Anyway, lots of things are going on in this match. People are getting through tables. Nia Jax is beating up MICHIN. MICHIN's beating up Nia Jax. And there's all sorts of stuff they can find their hands on. Tables are being used. Chairs are being used. Garbage cans are being used. Eventually, Nia Jax and MICHIN go off the top rope, go through a table together. And all of a sudden, Tiffany Stratton's music hits, and all of a sudden the crowd goes absolutely nuts because a lot of people know that she is in Germany, tend to know that she is also dating Ludwig Kaiser. So they're really hyped for her. She's like an honorary German. She comes on down the ringside with her pink briefcase, not really dressed to wrestle, but kind of dressed nevertheless, almost like she's like out to have a good time. So she's thinking about this right now. She's looking at her both. Wish I do. Goes down. Says she's about to slip the referee. She's about to hand in that briefcase, and all of a sudden Nia Jax kind of comes to, and it looks like, whoa, what are you doing? He goes, oh, nothing. She hits MICHIN with the briefcase, right? Lays her out, tries to put Nia over top of her. MICHIN kicks out. Then she moves MICHIN over. She's about to go for the prettiest moonsault ever, and all of a sudden we get ourselves a return of Bayley. She comes sprinting down the line because she's really popular in Europe. We did see that in France the last time they did a PLE there. And she chases Tiffany Stratton away. They start fighting a little bit, but she ends up chasing her away anyway again. They leave. MICHIN tries some more offense. It doesn't work. Nia Jax Samoa drops her through a table that's set up in the corner. Then Nia Jax brings her all the way over to the other corner, puts a garbage can on her, lays her down, and then hits the Annihilator from the rope, sitting on MICHIN with the garbage can on her head. 1, 2, 3. Nia Jax wins. What's interesting about this is they teased the cash in. So we're wondering when this is going to happen. It looks like they haven't started really putting it on really thick yet, but it seems to be that Tiffany Stratton is posting stuff on social media with her with the title and other things like that. So there may be a coming time where this is going to happen, probably soon. Probably the next little bit, I'm assuming, maybe just before Bad Blood, if not before Survivor Series. This cash-in may happen. So it looks really interesting too. Bayley coming back to also throws something in the mix as well too. So Bayley might have something to do with also Nia Jax losing that title as well. Probably to Tiffany Stratton, because I think Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in successfully. I think it's going to be just a matter of time when that really happens. So we'll find out what goes on there. Probably, I'm sensing sometime probably before Bad Blood. I said maybe even before Survivor Series. We'll see what goes on there. It might even be just beyond SmackDown they do it to build the heat up before Bad Blood or before Survivor Series. I said the show. Cody and KO have a face-to-face. Nick Aldis comes out. He talks about how successful the European tour and the European tour has been this time around too, as has been for the past number of times. All these international tours that WWE have been doing, have been more and more successful as they go. Constantly sold out, constantly everything. All this brings out Kevin Owens to a massive surprise, to a massive ovation. Cody comes out too, also to a massive ovation. Very well fan favorite people here. Nobody here is actually considered a heel. Or are they going to be a heel? Who's going to be a heel? First thing Kevin Owens says, he asks how Cody's knee is. Cody's like, what are you talking about? My knee's perfectly fine. He's like, no, I've seen in the tour and all stuff. You tweaked looks like you tweaked your knee and all stuff. People have been calling me saying you've been in the medical center for an hour or so, almost every night. Going over knee. Cody assures him that his knee is fine. And says, what are you upset about? You seem like you're upset. It sounds like you're confident about this. Cody asks him, calls him out and says, what about last week? I was standing there behind. Why didn't you turn around? You're holding my title. Were you going to hit me? I'm not saying that you were going to, but kind of putting it that way that he might be hitting him. Kevin's like, nah, it's not going to happen. I know I betrayed everybody before, but they all had it coming, except for Kofi. Apologize to Kofi once again. It's kind of comical. He says, makes mention that it was brought to my attention that 8 years ago was the last time I held the Universal title. And the problem with that wasn't the fact that I won the title. I was happy that I won the title, but everybody called it tainted because Triple H basically handed him that title, and that was against Seth Rollins on Raw 8 years ago. Triple H pedigreed Seth Rollins, gave Kevin Owens the Universal title, and Kevin Owens held it for quite a while, for a fair amount of time, until he got beaten up by Goldberg. Still don't like that one. That was horrible. But they wanted to go with Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, so I guess that's fine. Anyway, Kevin Owens says he's upset by it still, finds it tainted, it's unfair. It says, if I beat you and your knee's not 100%, people are going to say the same thing. Yeah, it's tainted. He's very, very angry about it. Cody calls him on it, says, it sounds like you're confident. It also sounds like you're very angry about the situation. And claims are like, I love you. You're one of my greatest best friends. It's hard to have friends in this industry. And says, and ask Kevin, when I win at Bash in Berlin, will we still be friends? Kevin doesn't respond. Well, he kind of does. I shouldn't say he doesn't respond. He does respond, but he drops the mic, walks over to Kobe, says something in his ear, and walks away. Kevin Owens music hits. I don't think this is going to end in a happy way for Cody Rhodes. I think we're going to get more out of this Kevin Owens versus Cody stuff. My guess is Kevin's going to do something probably at Berlin after the match, which will lead to another match, possibly at Bad Blood, or maybe just some kind of match on SmackDown. We'll have to find out and see. Nothing might never happen at all. Might just be perfectly fine, and Kevin might just walk away and perfectly fine and lost the match. Cool, whatever. I'm done. But he's got a point, though. Kevin hasn't really held a singles title in quite a while. I know he's said on record before he doesn't really care if he doesn't win a title anymore or not. He doesn't have a title. He's okay with it. But Kevin Owens as a champion again wouldn't be a bad thing. There's no reason why you couldn't put the title on Kevin and then take it off him by Cody again. There's no reason why you can't. There actually is no reason at all you can't do that. But we'll have to wait and see and find out. LA Knight had an open challenge. He opened up the show on SmackDown. And surprise, surprise, the person who answered the open challenge was none other than Germany's own Ludwig Kaiser. Talked about how he is happy to be home, about how thinks he should be a German champion, and he wants to turn that USL into a European championship. Which isn't a bad idea, actually, considering how much your time they're spending in Europe nowadays, especially this year. I kind of wouldn't mind having themselves a European championship since they are spending a fair amount of time in Europe nowadays. Like, might as well bring it on back. It's not a big deal. It's just maybe they're going to Europe several times a year. So it makes kind of like a lot of sense if you do bring back a European championship. Kind of does. Excellent match, though. Big parts here for both guys here. Really showed off Kaiser. They talked about Kaiser's background during commentary, about how he was very well traveled all around Germany wrestling and all stuff, very much endued with tag team wrestling. Very much made his name for himself in Germany just based on tag team wrestling. So, but unfortunately, Kaiser didn't win this one. He ends up losing with a blunt force trauma. And but it's a great show too. And as Doug would say, right? If you're from that place they're from, you're going to be on your back. It's not wrong to a degree. I mean, very rarely does the person who's from there actually win, and we might find out some of that too. Hey, we're getting Andrade versus Melo top number 5. We're going to a best of 5 series here. It's like the NHL. It's like the MLB playoffs here. All 4 matches have been absolutely great. Andrade's won the first 2. Melo's won the second 2. Melo won tonight, though, with a kind of little help from exposed turnbuckle. Actually, I said great match, right? A lot of high spots everywhere, right? Andrade at one point is on the turnbuckle that has the exposed turnbuckle on it. He's about ready to do something to a Melo. Melo slips out of the way, pulls his leg out. Andrade hits face first thing, falls on the ground. Melo gets up, hits that flying leg drop off top rope there. 1, 2, 3. Melo celebrates. We're getting number 5 coming up probably next week or the week after. Hopefully this is over after that. I'm hoping Andrade wins. I'm hoping this pushes probably further down the line here because it's been a great series of matches, the best of 5. Looking forward to seeing what number 5 does. Hopefully it is the culmination of this whole thing and it ends after this because I don't want to be seeing this all the time every week, guys. I want to see Andrade do other things. I really do. I want to see Melo do other things. And this makes more sense for me. They put Andrade in the U.S. title picture against LA Knight. I think it'd be a great idea. I think it'd be a lot of fun for them too. And you can do Andrade as a heel if you want. Because you probably couldn't turn LA Knight heel because he's just way too popular right now at this point. So you turning Andrade heel wouldn't be a bad thing. And he was a really good heel as it was when he was in WWE, especially in the NXT brand. Nothing wrong with that. Speaking of turning more of a heel, I guess, we got to say with Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. That turn's a coming soon, folks. That breakup is a coming. They are in the back there. They got confronted by Corbin and Cruz. We'll talk about that in a second. Right? Waller basically shoots his mouth off as per usual. Austin Theory tends to paint a picture for it. Corbin says, I can break the brakes off you. Theory basically dares him onto him. And especially Cruz pulls him away. Whereas Theory turns around and says, you just yap all the time, don't you? You know, when you yap against Terry Crawford, I'm the one that got laid out. It just keeps on, telling us more examples. And his boy kind of looks at me and goes, look, man, I'm sorry. I said, we just banter. I said, I'm from Australia. I said, banter. That's a bunch of crap. But it's like, we banter. That's what we do in Australia. He's just my best mate. So eventually this is going to happen. I don't know when. They seem to be pushing more and more for it. I'm sure Austin Theory is going to appear a massive heel, but I wonder what kind of heel. Austin Theory is going to be like a massive face, but I'm wondering what kind of face he's going to be because I feel like they're going to try to make it like a John Cena. I really hope not, but we'll find out and see what goes on with that one there. Speaking of Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, they have a match tonight too against Los Garza of who is it? Wingardo El Fantasma. El Fantasma come on out. The Garcias go in. Corbin comes up with still that crazy music, like really, really good music. Excellent match with these guys. Corbin's really showing a lot more of his agility. There's a few things to do, especially with those two guys in there. One thing where they flipped them onto the ropes and he fought back and then just closed on them. Really cool, actually, interesting to see, especially for a guy of Corbin's size. At the end of the day, though, Lagarda ends up, getting into the way. Costing Corbin. Escobar knocks Corbin out of the match. Paul ends up getting taken out by Los Garza. Gets the 1, 2, 3. They end up winning. Other than that, overall, it was a relatively good match. Right? Nothing really too crazy going on here. Just a basic tag team match, guys. It was a good match, though. All in all, though, it was a really good show. Not really much else happened. It was just a typical, nothing really built on anything too, because most stuff, as you know, they did mention that there was the tag team match will be moved. The women's tag team match will be moved to the actually Bash in Berlin. So you have a full 5 matches now on the card. And that was SmackDown, everybody. Moving on, though. Predictions. Now, normally Doug would be here for predictions. Fortunately, Doug is not feeling too well. He's a little under the weather. He's had a very rough week. Some mental state of mind he just needs to be, especially nowadays with mental health there. We all need to do it. Speaking of which, too, thoughts and prayers go out to Johnny Goudreau, Matthew Goudreau, who tragically passed away today. By hit by a drunk driver. Public service announcement really quickly here, guys. Make sure you don't drink and drive. It's not a good thing. Trust me. Not good at all. Anyway, Bash in Berlin. We got a little predictions here. Now, Doug didn't phone in his predictions to me, but that's okay. I have a good idea of who Doug's going to take. At least I think I do. And if I'm not, well, he'll probably give me crap when we ever do the review. So, the card off here. Unholy Union versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Look, I think the Unholy Union have been treated crappy since they've actually won the tag team titles in Scotland. I really feel they should have more of a shot with this, but I have a safe feeling they're going to go towards Cargill and Belair so they can move towards more of a feud between those two girls. I think Blair Davenport will play a role in this, but I think also Naomi will also play a role in this as well. So I think Cargill, Belair are going to win. Makes probably the most sense, especially if you're going to build towards them losing the titles and eventually the breakup, eventually leading to a match between those two at probably WrestleMania, possibly the Rumble. All right. So that's probably there. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan. As much as Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest probably should win this match, theoretically, Dom and Liv are going to win. They're going to win. Judgment is going to get involved. They're going to knock out Priest by some way, and Liv's going to end up pinning Rhea Ripley, and it's going to further on the feud too here. So it's going to come to the point where Liv constantly beats Rhea, and Rhea just can't seem to beat Liv. It's going to go this way. Liv and Dom are going to win. Makes for bragging rights. Plus, it furthers everything too, especially with Dom being in the Intercontinental title tournament. So he'll be building on that momentum and hopefully get to do well in it. Punk versus Drew. A little secret for you guys. It's going to Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Punk's winning this match. He's going to beat Drew like a government mule. And Drew's going to beat him like a government mule. They're both going to get beating the hell out of each other. Completely. And Punk is going to win. Get his bracelet back. And it won't be over. They're going to have a Hell in a Cell crash probably at Bad Blood. That's what's going to happen. That's kind of my guess. We'll see if I'm right. Could be wrong. It's fine. But I have a feeling that Punk versus Drew is going to be probably better than the first match. I know a lot of people complain about their first match at SummerSlam. Well, this one's going to be probably a lot better. It's a strap match. And that's because kind of match like this calls for a strap match and probably Hell in a Cell too. And we'll look forward to see what's going on there. But Punk's going to win. KO versus Cody. As much as I'd love to see KO win, I really do actually want KO to win. Cody is going to win. Cody's going to win. I think Doug will take Cody as well. I also think Doug will take Belair. I think Doug will take Punk. And Cody is going to beat KO. I think there's going to be some shenanigans after the match. And I think Cody will win that match. I think Cody probably might just end up leaving though. Might be left laying though. Fortunately for Cody. Now the main event, because it's assuming this will be the main event. I have a feeling that Cody and KO might open the show, but Gunther and Orton are closing it. There's no way they're not. They're in Germany, place where Gunther really made his name in wrestling in Europe. He is very well known, obviously as Walter, not Gunther, but he will be known there. And as much as Doug likes to say that people, if you're from there, will line your back and you'll probably lose, I don't see the title right now changing. It doesn't make sense this early for Gunther to lose to Orton, unless you're planning on doing a third match. We give Orton that 15th world title, and then also he just loses again a month later at Bad Blood. I just don't see or that happening though. I mean, it can, but I'd almost rather see, if you don't pull the trigger with KO, at least then have Orton come back and really want that title shot and goes after Cody after the show's over, after Berlin and get back to the US for Smackdown. If you're going to do that, then fine. But as a possibility, I think Gunther's going to win this match. I think Gunther has to make that first title defense win. And beating Randy Orton, who's a 14-time world champion, will definitely establish Gunther as a major threat to hold that title for an extremely long time. So I think Gunther will have it. I think Gunther's going to win. And I think that is going to be the Berlin card. I think Doug will. Doug is a massive Orton fan. It's his favorite wrestler. Even I think Doug, though, would take Gunther. But for argument's sake, I think Doug is going to take Orton for this. The nostalgia. And I think, yeah, that's what's going to happen there. Anyway, guys, that is predictions. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe down below if you're liking the content here. Right. Watch out for the Bash of Berlin recap. That will be coming probably, I'm hoping Sunday, possibly Monday, probably more likely Monday. And that's it. Enjoy Bash in Berlin. Make sure you follow us on all our socials. We are on X, we are on Podbean, we are on TikTok, we are on obviously YouTube. Follow, share, subscribe. We're on Spotify. Go to all those platforms. That's where we are. You can find us at DA Wrestling, or on Twitter, it'd be DA Sports Pod or DA Wrestling. One or the other, guys. Find it. We're on there. All right. I am Andrew. Dirty Doug's not here. Have yourself a good day, everybody. Best of luck to you. Enjoy Bash in Berlin. It should be a real barn burner.